Hi, I'm Paul Speight, and I'm going to give you a chat today on the reality and virtual reality training of the future around fires in tall buildings. This will be an immersive 360 VR training session which we deliver. For purposes today, I've had to put it into a 2D format because whether you're looking on your screens, a 360, it'll be all blur and it just won't look any good and won't do any justice. Because as you know, with 360, it's very immersive, very engaging and an enjoyable kind of learning experience. I always ask this question at the start: will virtual reality change the way humans learn? I believe it will. I think there's a big groundswell now towards looking how virtual reality can change what we do, kind of not just regionally, nationally, but internationally. This is myself. I'm a watch manager with Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service. I have been now for coming on 33 years. I've got the reference for VR 360, fire investigation, and road safety. I always like to start with this slide. If we were to operate solely on the principle of that's the way we've always done things, we'd still be putting fires out with these leather buckets. I think we need to progress, and I think we need to be very, very brave and take opportunities from there to improve our training, improve our education by looking at emerging technologies. So this is very true saying we inherit the past, but now we're going to create the future, something different, something innovative, something which is going to kind of get the minds thinking and make training enjoyable. This is a BBC clip of when we started to do the fires and tall building training, which we wanted to be NOGS compliant. So that's National Occupational Guidance compliant. We had the BBC come down on the first day of training, and this is just very short clip explaining what we're doing.
Tower fire in London, which was 4 years ago. Fire services are trying to make sure that they are ready to deal with any emergencies in high-rise buildings. Today, Leicestershire Fire Service took part in a special exercise which will be used to train firefighters across the country, as Simon Ward reports.
This exercise is being filmed with a 360-degree camera and will become a virtual reality training film to be used by fire services across the country.
We can learn the procedures in the virtual world, make our mistakes in a virtual world where all we need to do is press the reset button. Nobody gets injured, nobody gets contaminated, and when we get the procedure right, we then can expose them for the training for real. The training becomes far more beneficial because they've already created that muscle memory.
So that was where we started to film our NOG-compliant fires and tall building. When we've been delivering this out on stations, because I've been tasked to deliver it to all the firefighters within Leicestershire and Rutland, some of the feedback is that it's not done at a real pace. And I'll explain to them the whole idea of this, because we want it to be kind of compliant to our NOGs, where the incident commander will go and do his information gathering. We know we'll have simultaneous working going on at the same time. So someone will take over the firefighting lift. We'll have people setting into the dry riser. We'll have BA crews getting kit off the pumps. So everything will be happening all at the same time. But what we want to do here is specifically film each individual element. So for instance, if we had an 8-pump exercise at high rise, if you're the pump operator, all you'll see at that exercise really is just the pump. If you're BA, all you're going to see is the BA part. You don't see the whole incident. So what we've done, we've filmed each individual element to fires in the tall building. So now when people put the headsets on, they can see each element. So they kind of get a full learning package. And right at the end, we've got what we call bite-sized chunks. We've actually made 90 to 120-second long little clips, educational clips on equipment that we'll use predominantly at a high-rise or fires and tall building incident. We don't give any technical specifications. We say this is the kit, this is how you use it. So it really is stripped down to really basic. This is what you need to do with this kit. And how the training starts, we start with this. This is step inside. This is where we followed the crews with the camera crew for 48 hours, and we were lucky enough, we managed to attend a fires in a tall building, and we got the camera set up, and we use this to start the training. This is a real incident before we go into the NOG training, which is a manufactured incident, and we all finish with a live incident where it's a discussion base. So this is the step inside.
For 48 hours day and night, a small production crew were given access to Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service's active emergency call-outs.
Hi, service. What's the address of the emergency?
Hi, sorry to disturb you. It's Brett calling from East Midlands Central Station. I've got an air code for you.
What's the full address?
We have it. It's a Leicester City Council site, and it is Gordon House.
Get a good sleep.
Thank you. Any sign of smoke or fire?
We don't have a site number on this, I'm afraid, so no confirmation.
You can smell smoke in your flat.
No, it's not in my flat. It came from somewhere else. I'm on the 14th floor.
Telling you, we've got crews on the way, so there's a smell of smoke in by your flat. Follow your procedures. It's okay. All right, we're on the way.
As we've turned up with the cameras, we've set up as a briefing has gone on outside of Gordon House with the command support and the incident commander, briefing his crews and getting information on how he's going to put together his tactical plan.
So that's where we start with a real incident, and that incident we kind of reflected on it, and the incident went really well. Everything went according to the kind of incident commander's plan. So we start with that, and then we go on to the non-compliant side of it, and we've gone from the beginning. We've gone from the 999 call being given from the hotel, received it at our control, and the appliances being mobilised. So this is a 999 call.
Emergency, which service do you require?
Fire service.
Hold the line, caller, I'm just connecting you.
Hi, service. What's the address of the emergency?
Adagio Hotel, number 3, Great Central Square, Leicester.
What's the emergency?
We've got fire on the 10th floor in room 1002.
Do you know if there's anybody staying in the room?
I'm not too sure.
Do you know if there's anybody in the room currently?
I don't know.
Are you following your procedures?
Yes, we are. We're going to evacuate the building.
Okay. We're on the way to the Adagio Hotel, number 3, Great Central Square, Leicester. There's a fire in room 1002 on the 10th floor, and you're evacuating.
Yes.
We're on the way.
Thank you. Bye.
So there we go. We've seen the 999 call come in, the information gathering from our control. Later on in the kind of the non-compliant section, we get the control system kind of centre giving out fire survival guidance. So whether it's a stay put policy or an evacuate policy, they give information for both. So crews know what how it works, and when we go out to educate the public, we can also people living in high rises, give them that bit of information they need to also. So we did film the station being turned out. Again, it just shows what happens. Crews could be on station drilling, or they could be out doing home fire safety visits or doing fire safety audits. And then the bells go down and everything changes in an instant. So we see now we've got 2 appliances on drill. Now it's a kind of rush to get all the equipment back on. So the officer in charge has kind of just told the pumps where they're going. Both pumps are required. We see them turn out to the incident. He'll start now en route. He'll look at his mobile data terminal. He'll look at his tough book. He'll start bringing up the NOGs now. He'll be asking his crews for information. Have we been here before? Have we got any local information, local intelligence? Do we know where the riser is? All that information. So the information kind of gathering starts right at the beginning. And when they turn up in attendance, let's call it.
LOES, Sierra 2-3, Papa 2 in attendance. First impression message, smoke issue.
What we've done here, we've shown an aerial view of the GA Hotel and the Novotel. It's all one building. It's dual approach, so the officer in charge has already contacted the second appliance en route, so they were aware they've come in from either end, because this is a bollarded road, so they needed to make sure they've got the code for the bollards. And what we do, we put an overlay, so now when they turn up, they can see. Apologies. So they can see where the building is, a good kind of aspect of where they can start to set things up. And this is one of the good advantages of this style of training. We can put overlays on just about everything we do. Then we go to the bridgehead, and the commander being the bridgehead commander being briefed.
Commander, I want you to make sure that you take control of that area and fill in the sector boards, writing all the names down. Okay, your boundaries will be the floor above and the floor below, including the bridgehead. Please set up the bridgehead via your own dynamic risk assessment and let me know straight away. Yeah.
So all that shows, it shows the kind of initial team going up in the lift. It's the firefighting lift. They've taken over the firefighting lift. And as I said, we have these bite-sized clips. At the end, we have a clip showing how to take over a firefighting lift correctly. The peekaboo system, in case you come onto a floor where it's smoke logged, the door's shut straight away and you can move into another floor of safety. That briefing is a lot longer than that. There's a lot of information being passed over from the incident commander to the bridgehead sector commander. And so what we do now, we jump onto the BA floor, and this is the BA team being briefed. This is Alpha Team 1, the first team to be committed to this fire. As you can see, they're being briefed, and now we're showing with the overlay the actual route they've been told to take. They've been given the apartment or flat number, room number 1002, and been told to go in on a right-hand indirect search. So basically firefighting and searching. So he's then confirming that there's possibilities, because it's a high rise, we've got to be aware we may have a wind-ridden fire. So all this information needs to be passed on to the BA teams. And it's kind of all about kind of working in a safer as possible environment, and we're coming with a successful outcome. The informative message, I say, so they've sending a message now to control, just to give them an update, and the informative message is set in such a way that control will get all the information they require, so they've got a good understanding of what's happening at the incident. And as you can see there, we use the methane kind of message method, and if you could look at each kind of letter, gives you a description of the information you should be passing to control. I'll quickly jump past that. You don't want to listen to all the information. Alpha Team 2, so we're committing a second team. And again, you'll see some information being passed on now, which is really vitally important to Alpha Team 1. And you'll listen and you'll see why.
Incident Commander, I've not checked in with the command point yet. I've heard from your messages. It's at the end of Great Central Street.
Yeah, just at the top of the road.
Just at the top. So I'm going to go and check in with them. If you prepare me an II march handover,
okay.
I'll be back shortly.
No problem.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So that just shows kind of the information being passed from one team to the other, and it's all about communications, so everyone knows what's going on, if there's any change in the fire, so people can be aware. This is the second team which you've got in Alpha Team 2. They've actually found a casualty on the stairwell, and this is them using a smoke hood, which we now carry as part of our equipment on our breathing apparatus sets. This is showing the BA teams working as a pair, as you will do, kind of manipulating the hose up the staircase. It's a very hard, arduous task. Getting enough hose up so they can go into the fire compartment. I'll just fast forward it. They've now rescued a casualty using the smoke hood. So now they're leading to safety. Reassuring all the way down. And I'll pause it there. Okay, and this is the bite-sized learning. We've got 10 little learning sessions, which are 90 to 120 seconds long. This is the peekaboo. We've got a firefighter on station who's going to deliver this. When you put a headset on, this is where you are. You're in this theatre. As a facilitator, you can see me now in the TV screen on the left-hand side, talking to people in the headsets. Once I've introduced them to the training, we go into the training. This is 360. The peekaboo system is really important. Because once we just kind of find out where the fire is, I'll say on the 10th floor, we're going to set a bridgehead up initially on the 8th floor, 2 floors below. If the lift stops on the 8th floor and the door's open and that floor is compromised and full of smoke, we have to wait, then press the button and wait for the doors to shut and move us to a floor which is safe. That could take 5, 6, 7 seconds. The peekaboo system, you hold the button. If the door starts to open the smoke, you let go of the button, the doors will automatically shut and allow you to move through the floor very, very quickly and safely. The firefighter now is going to explain to you and demonstrate how that works. So as long as you keep your finger on the button, the doors will shut. Now we'll demonstrate the peekaboo. So that's a couple of seconds, the door's shut again. And that is a bite-sized learning clip, which we are using in Leicestershire at the moment. Here we've got detailed brain analysis. We went to Coventry University to do some research on how the brain activity changes when being immersed in virtual reality and 360. We took a baseline of just looking at a picture on the screen and there was very little movement. Then we let them watch a video of the training. There was a little bit more movement, which was visibly kind of noticeable. But then when we immersed them with a headset into the virtual reality 360 world, all of a sudden you can see here the amount of brain activity in the frontal lobe shows that there is considerable learning going on while people are immersed in the virtual world. It's only early stages, and they've got to dive into a lot more deeper to kind of bring out all the information. But early signs show that it is a very, very good way of learning, and there's more brain activity going on. And on this slide is why VR-powered training is so impactful. This is showing retention rates. So basically, if you have a lecture, the retention rate is 5%. Reading, whether it's a manual or book, you have a 10% retention rate. Audio visual, so you're looking at possibly like PowerPoints, it's at 20%, and we do a lot of training with PowerPoint. And if you're only getting 20% retention rate, we need to possibly look at a different method. Demonstration, we all know demonstrations are very, very good, but only has a 30%. Group discussion, I'm a big believer in group discussion, and that's a 50% retention rate. And this is where we work. We work with learning by doing VR-powered training, 75% retention rate. That has got to be why we should be looking. And learning by teaching others, 90%. So we've shown the brain activity and we've shown kind of retention rates. So that's me, Paul Speight from Leicestershire Fire and Rescue Service. Thank you very much for listening. If there's any questions, please contact Firebar Live and they can put you in contact with me because there is so much more going on in this space. I think it's one of the spaces to watch out for.